Hi, in this short video I just wanted to do a quick recap of my trading week, and I think it's interesting because it's like a live account, and so like the trades were taken live, and yeah, it's a bit more a different way of reviewing the market compared to what we usually do, like while learning. Like it's more in hindsight. And then this is something I propose you to do as well, maybe each week or maybe each day, depends on the person, but at least maybe once in 2 weeks. So go back to your trades, see what you did, what went wrong or right, and so on. And what's interesting is that if you look at my trades, you can see that there are like a lot of trades here for this week, like for me. But first of all, so this 1, 2, 3 are all from one zone. Okay, so these minuses are like attempts to enter trade. And by the way, it's also good to expect that you will not, I mean, it's not like good, but it's realistic to expect that you will not have your trade like right away. Sometimes you will be liquidated before you go further, and then you see how many losses, but then just 3 good winners, and I'm positive for the week. So let's start with Euro USD. Daily chart is just bearish, so you can pause the video. You already need to know what are the structures, so I just marked them up approximately, so these impulses, and price already tapped. You see what's interesting, price tapped this zone, so now we are in this scenario when we have impulse and full pullback to the last zone, so now we are really bearish on daily. Then on 4 hours, what price did is has also shifted. So we had this impulse and this pullback, this impulse, this low, we have a break, and we even technically we have this break and one more, so 2 breaks to the downside, so very bearish on 4 hours. On 1 hour, again, really bearish, and pay attention how clear the move was. Really clear move, really nice supply zone, like really great, full body candle with imbalance below, and then mitigation of the zone. Okay, then on 15 minutes, so I think this is the time frame we were against. So we are with the weekly, with the daily, with 4 hours, with 1 hour. Yeah, so everything is bearish, but 15 minutes, as you can see, is bullish, but we can ignore it because it's like lower time frame, not so important. And now here you can see my entries. So first of all, we had this shift on 1 minute, and when price came to this bigger zone, I was trying to short this one, failed. Then we had one more shift, nice zone, failed. And then we liquidated here these highs, shifted here, and I entered from this big candle, big zone, entry below the price, below the candle, and I had a good trade here with break even at this point, 5R partial, 80% of position here, and then 8.5R here. And you can see I wrote close early partial too. I don't know, maybe it was news or something I didn't like, but it went to my ultimate target of 10R eventually. So this is first zone, and basically this setup I am treating it as a quality setup. Then it was Tuesday. On Wednesday we continued to follow, so daily and 4 hours you can check previous trades. 2 hours you see this really wavy, really nice structure formed. Then on 1 hour, what we have, oh, I think entry was in this area, so 1 hour, just zoomed in view. Then 15 minutes, as you can see, shifted, and we are in this range, this bigger zone, and I was just looking for my excuses to go short. And on 1 minute we had this big range, and basically what I did, I had this range and I tried to short it to new lows, and I had this internal structure. So basically you can say that you are entering from this big zone, and I was shorting some candles. So you see price went below, I was shorted, and this entry was already like obvious that it's breaking up, but I decided to take one more entry from this very last zone, and it liquidated me and then went down. I think this spike was on news, by the way. So like 3 minus ones in a row, and for me 3 trades in a zone means that I need to stop usually. Oh, actually, yeah, it went almost to the target, then liquidated once again, and then went much lower. So this is 1, 2, 3 trades, and I treat these last 2 as big because I was already so usually when I have an entry and then price does something like this or like this, I already understand that it's not a very high quality setup. So usually it just goes to the target. And then these GU trades that also were really nice in my opinion. So again, similar situation as on EU, we have just bearish ranges, really big impulse, nice zone on daily, so this is daily, mitigation, and then price starts to fall. On 4 hours, so 4 hours are kind of, so not kind of, war against me. We have this impulse and never broke on 4 hours, but on 1 hour, on 2 hours, we had these really nice clean breaks, you see. So these impulses are not of highest quality, but they are more or less fine. And this is the example when price didn't come all the way to my like refined zone, but of course we understand that this is the big zone and we can use some parts of it to understand that price maybe so we don't expect actually the price to go all the way to the last zone. Okay, so when we have this impulse, we are okay to follow the price on lower time frames. So sorry, this 4 hours. On 5 minutes we had this recent range, this bullish range, and then bearish range. So we were acting in this one bearish range with a lot of inside structure, and then on entry time frames we had one more shift. So I think this is from 5 minutes probably. Yeah, let me check. So yeah, so you see this is the 5-minute break, this is the 5-minute zone, so this is it, and then one break from 1 minute, and then second break from 1 minute, and I was going to use this zone as my main zone. You see, really clear break, really nice zone with imbalances. Price came to mitigate. I shorted this candle, stop loss above. I was liquidated. Price played in the zone, and I decided to short once again in like with expectation that price will just go and take these lows based on overall context I just shared. So yeah, again, management was break even somewhere here, then at 5R 80% from position, of course at break even, and then went to 10R, but I again closed at 5.5 8.5R, 20% of the position. I was again, if I don't think I was able to get to my 10R, but anyway, I was liquidated, and you see this new candle, and then just went down. Okay, so this is my 2 trades on, so my 5 trades on Wednesday, basically in 2 zones, yeah. And yeah, and this is trade really, again, really clear price action, so same range on daily, but this time we had, so let me check where was this trade. So this time we acted here, you see. So we already broke on 4 hours, and I was actually shorting from here. I didn't like the fact that we already had the move, because usually it's really nice to position yourself in the beginning, but we had 30-minute structure with nice zone, and you see this was the entry. So we had 30-minute impulse, correction, and then started to go bearish on lower time frames again. 15 minutes are with us, so daily bearish, 4 hours bearish, 1 hour bearish, 30-minute bearish, 15-minute bearish, 3-minute bearish. So you see, so this is like a really nice impulse, really calm, really accurate. So not like this. I don't like to trade this kind of impulses, but these tend to hold the structure. And then on 1 minute, on entry time frame, it looked like this. See, just one move, a zone. By the way, as you can see, this zone is mitigated, but we will discuss later. It's possible to just orient yourself on a bigger zone, so in short, when you have your up move on some kind of time frame, it will be unmitigated. Okay, so we understand that though our zone, and so this is the first, and then second, we know that inside it most likely will have unmitigated zones, or this week if you want. So I was actually willing to play based on everything I saw before, to play this trade, and yeah, I just placed it and it went down. By the way, I didn't like the time, so this is for me almost the end of New York session, and usually it's quite late for me to enter, but since the context was there, I decided to enter, and also closed early at 4.5 hour instead of 5 hour, because I was getting in doubt of the session time, and yeah,